Hallo, ek is E.T. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. Uiteindelik het ons gearriveer by die lang verwagte tweede werkwoord video. In hierdie video gee ek vir julle op die kop 50 nuwe werkwoorde. Daar is nog baie werkwoorde wat ek nie ingesluit het by hierdie video nie en ek is van plan om nog 'n derde en moontlike vierde werkwoord video te maak in die toekoms. Alrighty then, switching back to English. The reason I use English for these vocabulary videos is very simply so that complete beginners can easily follow along and they can only focus on the words or the vocabulary words I give. It's also easier for me to not have to subtitle these videos. So yes, I'm lazy. Alright, so the format of this video is as follows. I give the verb and the translation and then an example. For the more difficult verbs, I'll pause a little bit, I'll give a larger explanation so that you have the proper context to know how and when to use the verbs. Without further ado, let's just get straight to the verbs. I am falling over my words today, wonderful. Verb number 1. Luister, luister. Listen. Jy moet na jou ouers luister. You must listen to your parents. Lief hê, lief hê. Love or to love. Ons moet mekaar lief hê. We must love each other. Benodig, het nodig. And that means need or to need. Now, benodig and het nodig, those two are some of the more difficult verbs to get used to because they're both used interchangeably, but with het nodig, the het and the nodig are usually separated by a verb or a word in between. And then they also get swapped around. Sometimes it's nodig first and het second. There's not always a word in between the two. And that is a little bit more of an advanced term to learn. For now, you can just take note of it. So let's look at the examples. Ek benodig hulp. Or, ek het hulp nodig. And that means I need help. Exactly the same meaning. And then, wat ek benodig. Or, wat ek nodig het. And now the two have swapped around. And that means what I need. And then the second verb, speel, is play or to play. Sy speel tennis. She plays tennis. Or hulle speel buite. They play outside. Soen, kiss. Hy soen haar op die wang. He kisses her on the cheek. Oefen, exercise, or to train. It's used in both contexts. Ek hou daarvan om te oefen. I like to exercise. And ek oefen hard. I train hard. Oopmaak, maak oop. Open. Same meaning, but another one that can be used in both ways. So the first example, sal jy die deur oopmaak asseblief? Will you open the door, please? Maak asseblief die deur oop. Please open the door. And then we have to maak or maak to, which means close. Same thing. They can be used both ways around. So the one is one word and the other way it's two separate words. Sal jy die deur toemaak asseblief? Will you close the door, please? Maak asseblief die deur toe. Please close the door. Onthou, onthou. Remember. Ek onthou die goeie tye. I remember the good times. Vergeet. Forget. Ek vergeet mense se name. I forget people's names. That's legitimately a problem I have, unfortunately. Gee, give. Gee my a kans. Give me a chance. Vat, take. Ek vat die bal. I take the ball. Vang, catch. Ek vang die bal. I catch the ball. Gooi, throw. Ek gooi die bal. I throw the ball. Stuur, send. Hy stuur 'n boodskap. He sends a message. Ontvang, receive. Sy ontvang 'n pakkie. She receives a package or she receives a parcel. Druk, press. Sy druk die knoppie. She presses the button. And now we get to one that can potentially be loaded. It's used in more than one context. So let me explain. The word is los. Los. Now, it is an adjective, which means to be loose, as in something is not attached. But in this context, it is a verb, and it means to leave something. So it's not to leave the building, it's not you leaving, it's to leave something behind. So los specifically means you leave something behind or you leave something alone. But this is not to leave, which is a different word. So this is to leave something behind or leave something alone. In the example, it's a sad example. Oh God, I did not think that one through. Los die hond by die huis. Leave the dog at home. I apologize. Probeer. Probeer. Try. Ek probeer om my werk klaar te maak. I try to complete my work. Verstaan. Understand. Ek sukkel om die vraag te verstaan. I struggle to understand the question. Werk, work. Ons werk lang ure. We work long hours. Gebruik, use. Sy gebruik haar rekenaar elke dag. She uses her computer every day. Borsel, brush. Sy borsel haar tande. She brushes her teeth. Kam, comb. Sy kam haar hare. She combs her hair. Ooh, we've come to the loaded of the loaded. Alright, so let's look at the first one. Wil, to want. Now, we've got the examples here. Ek wil nie. I don't want to. Ek wil. I want to. Ek wil saamgaan. I want to go with. Ek wil vanmiddag swem. I want to swim this afternoon. Wil is also a noun, which means your will. You know, you have free will. In Afrikaans, that's jou wil. You have vrye wil. So it is a noun as well as a verb. And then let's look at wil hê. So there's a difference between the two. If you want on the left, wil, just wil, without a hê attached to it. Then you have wil is to want something. But then if you go to wil hê, then that goes to want to have. So the one on the left, wil, want to do something or want to go somewhere. But then wil hê specifically, ek wil hê means I want to have or I want to possess something. Alright, so as you can see there, think it, want it, get it. So wil hê, it's very important and we use it a lot. And also the wil and the hê, it's separated by a word. Usually the noun that you want is in the middle between the wil hê. So let's look at the examples. Ek wil kos hê. I want food. Ek wil geld hê. I want money. And wat wil jy hê? What do you want? So this is a difficult concept. I'm giving this in this video so that you can see the difference and that there is a difference. But maybe in future I'll make a video just on this and expand. If people struggle with this, if you struggle with this specific concept of wil and wil hê, let me know in the comment section, please. And then in future, I can make a video elaborating on specifically this to make it much more easy for you to use this in practice. Okay, so we just keep on going with the loaded ones now. Stop, stop, which is a synonym for loop. Stop means to walk or to take a walk. Yes, it can be a bit ambiguous at times. Ons gaan stap, ons gaan loop. It's a subtle difference between the two. Sometimes they mean exactly the same thing, sometimes they don't. So this again is also one that's a bit involved. And if you listen or watch things that have more comprehensible input, so the comprehensible input videos that I've made up to this point and that I hope to make in the future, watch those videos as often as you can and over again. Maybe you can start off with the English subtitles if you're a complete beginner, then move on to Afrikaans subtitles and just me speaking, and then after that take away the subtitles, because these things you will only really catch onto once you are used to how they're used in conversation. Alright, so after all this rambling, examples. Ons stap in die berge. And that means we are taking a walk in the mountains, or we are hiking in the mountains. In Afrikaans, there is no one word for hiking. We use hike in Afrikaans, the English word. But if you want to use Afrikaans word, then we'll say stap. So loop is the action of walking and moving your feet. Stap can also be the action of walking, but stap is more like an outing. And loop is the very action of walking, moving your feet in a walking fashion. And then we say, ons gaan 'n entjie stap. We are going to take a little walk. And then stap so 'n bietjie, or loop so 'n bietjie, walk a little. So there's the example of you having to, or you are able to use them interchangeably. Stap 'n bietjie or loop 'n bietjie. That would be the same thing. You're telling somebody to just take a little walk, move a little, walk a little. And you can use either one, loop or stap. So that one is one of those who deserves its own video. And then on the other side we have dance, which is dance. Ek dans die hele aand. I dance all night. Kook. Cook. Hy kook kos. He cooks food. Bak. Bake. Sy bak 'n koek. Ooh, what was I going to say there? Sy bak 'n koek. She bakes a cake. Bad. Bathe. Ek wil vanaand bad. I want to take a bath tonight. So the Afrikaans is just very straightforward. The action of taking a bath is bad. But also a bath itself is also a bad. So the noun is bad for a tub, and to bathe, the verb is also bad. So just a tiny bit of confusion there. And then stort, shower. Ek stort na werk. I shower after work, or I take a shower after work. Huil, cry. Sy is baie ontsteld en huil aan mekaar. She is very upset and keeps on crying. Beklei means fight, and veg means fight. But, and this is the context, beklei is when you fight with somebody either verbally or, physically, in the context of like at home or in a bar, when you're fighting with your family members verbally. If you have a altercation with your brother or sister when you're young and you fight in a play context or in a not so playful context, then that's beklei. Ons beklei. Veg is used for war. So when you fight a war or somebody is fighting on the battlefield, then the word they use is not beklei. They don't beklei. They veg. So when you're fighting a war or when you're on the battlefield, the verb is veg. And that's specifically for the context of a war or a big skirmish like that. And the noun there for a war is geveg, or the fight that take the battle, for the battle. The noun is geveg. So veg, only for war and for a battle. Beklei, that's anything else that's fighting outside of war. All right, Jannie and Sunny, beklei. Jannie and Sunny are fighting. Hulle veg vir die land. They fight for the country. Skop, kick. Hy skop die bal. He kicks the ball. Slaan, hit or punch. Hy slaan die sak. He punches the bag. Hy slaan die bal. He hits the ball. Reis, travel. Ons reis na Amerika. We travel to America. Skree, scream. Sy skree vreeslik. She screams terribly. Okay, so another one. Say, we use it a lot, so learn this one. To say or say to. So it is both used in context of where you are saying something to somebody else, but it's also used when you are telling somebody something or telling somebody to do something. To tell somebody, but also to say something. So it's used for both of those. Examples. Sê hom asseblief hoe laat jy terugkom. Please tell him what time you are coming back. Dit is nie wat ek sê nie. It's not what I'm saying. Sê vir hom hy moet die skottelgoed was. Tell him to go wash the dishes. So really study that one. It's like say, it's very commonly used. Vertel. Oh, word. Vertel is also tell, but vertel is the retelling of something. So vertel is when you tell a story or you're retelling something that happens to somebody. So it's not, you're not telling somebody to do something. You're also not saying somebody should go do something. You're not saying you are saying something. Vertel is specifically used in the case of retelling a story or retelling something that happened. So that is then also tell in that context. Sy vertel 'n storie. She tells a story. Aantrek or trek on. Getting dressed or putting on clothes. It's once again one of those that are used either the one or the other way around. Trek on voor ons laat is. Get dressed before we late. Ek het my klere aangetrek. I put my clothes on or I got dressed. Was, which is wash your hands, or was. Was as in past tense. Oh my word. Okay, so let's look at the context of washing your hands or washing your clothes. Then you use the verb was. But was, and you don't have to learn it now because when you get to past tense, if you are still a beginner, you're going to get to this again. So was is to wash something, but then also was is was as in past tense. I was, ek was. So it's the verb, it's the past tense of is. Ek is, present tense, ek was, past tense. So it's the past tense word, was, but it's also the verb for washing something. Was is wash. So yes, lots going on there. So the example, dit was 'n goeie dag. It was a good day. And also, ek was my hande. I wash my hands. Teken, draw. Ek teken 'n prentjie. I draw a picture. Verf, paint. Ek verf die mure. I paint the walls. Kom, come. Kom saam met my. Come with me. I'm just going to leave it there. Gaan, go. Ek gaan huis toe. I am going home. Maak, make. Dit maak nie sin nie. It doesn't make sense. Ek maak 'n slaai. I am making a salad. Breek, break. Moenie die spieël breek nie. Don't break the mirror. Wys, show or point. Wys is also a noun which means wise, but in this context, wys is to show or to point to something. Wys my waar jy bly. Show me where you live or stay, where you reside, actually. Because bly is a lot of things. Wys na die berge. Point at the mountains. Wow, alright. So now you have a lot of verbs to study. This is not exhaustive. As I've said in the beginning of the video, there are plenty more where that came from. But these, with this 50 verbs and then the 40 of the previous video, with those 90 verbs, you should be able to have a good conversation in present tense. Because then there's the future tense, which in Afrikaans really isn't that difficult. And also then there's the past tense, which again isn't that difficult. But there are some changes that are made to sentence construction and to the verbs themselves in past tense. And in future tense, there is a word that gets added and so on. But if you learn these 90 verbs, the 50 in this video and the 40 in the previous video, you will be well on your way to create sentences in Afrikaans present tense. And learning the past tense, I think, from there on is not that difficult. There's not that much that changes, not like too much. All right. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.